Hello, lovelies. Hello, family, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to Purpose TV. Today, I'm going to talk about 5 tips on how to cleanse your crystals. And this advice is going to be for beginners, people who are starting out with their crystal collection. But before we start, I want to share you with my company. This is my website for Purpose Counseling and Wellness Center. Therapy. Feel like you're falling apart? Let us help you find the missing pieces in your life. Purpose Counseling and Wellness Center, PCWC, provides a variety of therapeutic counseling services geared towards helping individuals, families, and the community. Our goal is to assist individuals holistically through our transpersonal counseling psychological services. We are also available on Psychology Today. We have sliding scale fees, and we are willing to work with you. We also provide telehealth services, and we provide services both via phone and online. Don't forget to give us a call today. All right, you guys, let's get started on this article. I wrote this article uh, uh, yesterday, actually. I wanted to get some tips on how to cleanse your crystals because cleansing your crystals is very important when you get it, because different people handle them when you about to get your crystals. You know, if you they're picked at the crystals are at the mines. They're handled by the workers, and then they're also handled during delivery, and then they're handled by different customers and salespeople, and then if you're getting them by online, you know, that people touching them when they're delivered. So it's like the whole process of getting your stones and crystals, there's always someone touching it, and when they're touched by different people, the crystals absorbs the energies from different people. I'm gonna do a video about that, explaining why you should cleanse your crystals, but I'm gonna give you tips in this video on the 5 ways to cleanse your crystals. And these tips are very simple, and easy to follow. And let's get started. It says here, crystals have been used by indigenous people throughout ancient times. These stones produce their own powers and energies. The American Aborigines, Africans, Native Americans, and the Aborigines of Australia viewed the crystals as living beings and has a deep connection with the earth. And that is so true. I pulled this particular reference from this book, The American Indian Secrets of Crystal Healing. This is an excellent book. I recommend you guys get that. It's a great read. It gives you more information and more insight about the indigenous aboriginals here in the Americas, how their beliefs and how they use crystals in healing. And so the indigenous people believe heavily in this, and I believe in it too after I've been doing a lot of studies and research with American aboriginals. And I've learned that, that crystal healing is very important, and it works very well with counseling and mental health, and makes a huge difference. And I'll probably do another video explaining that as well. But it says here, in today's society, many of these gems are used as a power source within modern day technology. According to crystal expert scientist and geologist Hibiscus Moon, it has been proven that crystals produce their own energy source. And it's true. It has been proved through research, even though the indigenous people have been saying this for centuries, for ancient times, a long, long time. A lot of people, Eastern society laughed at them and thought it was stupid, not Eastern society, Western society. I'm sorry, but Western society thought it was stupid. But now I think Western society is starting to realize the importance of these crystals, and they're using them in devices, computers, medical devices, and cell phones. So they're very important. Um, it says oftentimes crystals are handled by multiple people prior to receiving in the mail or in the shops. We was just talking about that. And it says the stories can be picked up. The stones can pick up the energy from the people and imprint it in the stone. I cannot see this, you guys. I'm gonna enlarge this a little bit. I need glasses. It is important to cleanse your stones prior to use in order to better connect with your stone and remove lower and negative energies. And it's true. The key is to connect with your stone, and it's sort of difficult to connect when you have other energies attached to it. So that's why cleansing is very important. It says consistently cleansing and recharging your crystal is the best way to restore your gems to the optimum energetic level. Check out my Purpoz channel below and some common techniques that can be used in clearing and aligning your crystals. And yes, I have the new channel. I announced it in the previous video of the new channel, and I'll share that with you all too, the new channel here on YouTube. And this is where this video is at. And if you're listening to this video, you found it. But anyway, yeah. So let's see here. The first technique to doing your crystals is by running water. These are my crystals here, my personal crystals, that I have in my collections. Amethyst. This is Amphi. It's right here. She's the flat cluster crystal. And this is Amplify. He is the pointed crystal. But these are my crystals. I love them. I keep them by my nightstand. But anyway, I cleanse my crystals before I use them, and it's very important to cleanse them before you use them in order to remove these lower energies. And the picture here, they have a creek or a stream right here on a mountain stream. But using some sort of nature is always the best way to go about it. I personally did not use nature because I didn't have quick access to get into nature because I lived in the city. So I use tap water. Some people like to purify their water. No, I use purified water or water that has been filtered. That's fine, okay. It's just a personal choice. But they say that using nature is always the best way. And it says here, there's some things you need to consider though when you're using water. It says laws of conservation of energy states that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can change forms, and that's true. That was by Crowhearts. I took her class. She has an amazing class on crystal healing. Y'all may want to check her out through Natural Healers in Australia. And it says here, water neutralizes negative energy within the stone and returns it back to the earth. It is ideal to use natural running water such as streams and creeks as a good alternative to rinse your stone. A good alternative is to rinse your stone with tap water. So that's another alternative that I just mentioned. That's what I use. And it says here, make sure the stone is completely covered and you pat dry. So you dry it once you rinse it off. And some people like to do a meditation as well, or a prayer, depending on your religion or your spirituality. I like to meditate over my stone and connect with the Most High for me. But it's whatever your choice is. And usually it takes about a minute to do this whole entire process for each stone. And it says you can use this stone for coarse, sort of like this amethyst. This is an amphiphy, amplify. He can be. I used this for amplify, and he turned out just fine with the water process. But y'all got to keep in mind there are certain stones you cannot do this with. There are some delicate stones that are, soft and not as strong as other stones, such as quartz. These stones, I'm gonna give you some examples: is the selenite and the kayanite and the helenite. So those are another examples of stones that you cannot use for water, because you can actually damage them if you do. Another technique is to use rice. Rice is a really good technique. I haven't used the rice before, but I've had read up uh, and heard from others who are into Christian healing that rice is actually safe to use. And I'm gonna try that this technique too, and I'll probably do a follow-up video to let you know how it goes when I cleanse my stones to see how it went with my crystals. But it says it's a safe technique. It removes negative energy and it's good on black tourmaline. And it says here, this method requires you to fill a bowl of brown rice with your stone inside. So, you put your stone inside of a bowl and you pour the rice grains over it. And so it says this process gets rid of, it's a process of cleansing, and the rice draws out the negative and lower energy. And usually this takes about 24 hours, and you use this on each stone. So it's probably considered one of the safest avenues to cleansing your stone without having to worry about damaging it. So it takes a little bit longer, but it's quite effective. And it says here, Moonlight. That's another way to clear your crystals. I use the Moonlight all the time. I like to use a lunar calendar. All you have to do is Google search lunar calendars. They have them online, and you'll pull it up, and it'll show a different, what moon phase you in, depending on where you're located, on Earth. So you just put in what area you're in, or sometimes it'll automatically do it if it your phone, or if you do it over your phone or online, they know your direct address. It'll just pull it up instantly. But sometimes you might have to put your actual address in or location so they can give you an idea of what the moon is looking like in your area. And based on that, you can decide whether or not you want to put your crystal out. Me, I like to put mine on my windowsill. That's where I put my crystals at. I don't leave them outside because I be worried about people messing with them, because I don't live in a house. I live in more of an apartment. People have access to it. But if you live in an area where you don't have to worry about anyone messing with it or any wildlife messing with your stone, it's a good idea that you could put it outside as well. It says here, sometimes there are rituals for cleansing and using a certain lunar cycle. Put your stone out before nightfall and bring it in before sunrise. This will allow the sun to soak in the moonlight. Long exposure to the sun can damage the stone surfaces. And that's true. Certain stones, see, you got to be very careful with sunlight. Some stones might could take it, like selenite can take in the sun, because selenite may be damaged. Selenite you have to be very careful with selenite. Some stones are very fragile, and some stones are not. So you got to do a very careful research. I just put in the ones that are very, somewhat a few, but you may want to do your own research and look at your stones very carefully and read up on it to see if the stone can easily get damaged. But Moonlight, I tend to be a lot more safer. You don't have to worry about it being its damage as long. So that's why I do. I always put mine out at nightfall, and then I try to make sure I remember to get it out before sunrise, before the sun come out, because I don't want my stone to be damaged. And it says and when you do it with the Moonlight, this allows your stone to soak in the moonlight. And then long exposure to stone can damage the stone surfaces, and then this could be used on most tonal stones. And it says here, don't use this for vibrant stones such as anthracis. And anthracis, that is so correct. Sunlight can damage anthracis. When I first got my first crystal, which is Amphi, she got a little damage from the sunlight. I didn't know what was going on with her, but she got a little damage from the sunlight. And it does damage the crystals. So in order to keep your crystals healthy, keep them out of the sunlight, especially anthracis. And soft stones such as selenite and halite and selenite can be damaged also due to weathering. So you got to be very careful with these particular stones. And selenite too is very delicate, so you got to be very careful and do your research. And usually it takes about 10 to 12 hours with the moonlight. Sage is another technique to use. And it says, according to Roman, Roman is a dietitian. Sage is a sacred plant with several healing properties. And it does, And it says here, smudging your stone and removes unbalanced energy and it restores it back to its natural state. You'll need a fire-safe bowl, a lighter, and a bundle of sage. And then in this article, I explain how you do it. And it says you smudge if you're doing it indoors, make sure you're near the window. It's best to do it outdoors, but if you can't do it outdoors, you can do it indoors as well. But you got to make sure the windows are open for ventilation, and it allows the negative energies to leave. And then when you ready to ignite the tip of the flame, you use the smoke to cover the stone. And you usually do this for 30 to 60 seconds, and you do it for each stone. And also, using sage is also considered to be pretty safe, for your crystals. And the last tip is to use sound. A lot of people who have a huge, extensive collection use sound because it's a quicker way of getting to all your stones all at once, as opposed to going to each stone and trying to clear them out. And some people use sound. And they use high pitch over a large area, and this is used done through vibrational tones such as chanting. Some people like to use different chants, like the Buddhists. They have a chant that they use. The indigenous aboriginals here in Americas have their chant that they use as well. And I'm pretty sure that Australians, the Aboriginals in Australia also use chanting. A lot of indigenous tribes use chanting to clear the area. And also you can use bells as well, and singing bowls, crystal bowls. I know this yoga instructor who uses crystal bowls for healing as well. So that's another way of clearing your crystals. It says here, this is a good technique practitioners use to do a large inventory, like we said. And this usually takes 5 to 10 minutes. And this can be used for any stone, and it's pretty safe. So that is pretty much all the tips I have. And this is my channel here, the Purpoz channel. Check it out. I'll be putting more videos up. And don't forget to like and hit that notification button. Until next time, love and peace, family. Bye-bye.